Some stories begin with a whisper, a quiet rumor that something is not quite right with the world we think we know. Our history is a book written on pages of stone and dirt, a narrative we have carefully pieced together over centuries of diligent study. We believe we understand its chapters. We believe we understand its timeline. We believe we understand its major characters. From the rise of single-celled life, the age of dinosaurs, and finally, the dawn of humanity. It is a grand and comforting tale. But what if a single object, a simple, unassuming thing, could tear a hole in that story? What if a chapter was found completely out of order? This is the tale of such an object, not of grand battles, nor of fallen empires, but of a small metallic vessel, a curious pot, said to have been blasted from rock ancient when the first dinosaurs walked the earth. It presents us with a question so profound it can shake the very foundations of our understanding. A question that forces us to look again at the timeline we have so confidently drawn for ourselves. It asks, with a quiet but persistent voice, do we truly know our own past? The story begins not in a dusty archive, nor in a sterile laboratory, but on a windswept hill in Massachusetts, a place called Meeting House Hill, in the quiet town of Dorchester. The year was 1852, a time of steam power and invention. A world where the past was being unearthed, but the future felt limitless. Here, amid the thunder of a planned explosion, something was found that should not have been there. An object of impossible antiquity. A relic from a time before time, as we know it. A ghost from a history we never knew existed. This artifact, if the tales are to be believed, was not simply lying on the ground. It was not dropped by a careless passerby just moments before. No, the claim was far more staggering, far more unbelievable. The object was said to be entombed within the solid rock itself, a prisoner of stone for an unimaginable length of time, waiting for that one fateful moment, that one blast, to finally give it up. This is the story of the Dorchester Pot, a mystery that starts with a bang. Let us travel back in time, to that very day in 1852. Workers were blasting through a formation of rock known as the Roxbury Conglomerate. This was routine work, clearing the land, shaping the world to the will of man. The air would have been thick with the smell of black powder, the ground trembling from the force of the detonation. As the dust and smoke began to clear, and the men moved in to clear away the shattered debris, something caught their eye. It was not a strangely shaped stone or a fossil of some ancient sea creature. Amid the rubble of broken rock lay two pieces of a metal vessel. When placed together, they formed a curious bell-shaped pot. It was small, fitting comfortably in a person's hands, measuring about 4.5 inches high. The object was made of a strange metallic alloy, with a color resembling zinc or perhaps an alloy containing silver. Its surface was reportedly inlaid with intricate floral designs, a bouquet of flowers arranged with exquisite artistry, all picked out in pure silver. This was no crude, primitive tool. It was a work of sophisticated craftsmanship, an object of beauty and precision. The mystery, however, was not in the pot itself, as beautiful as it may have been. The true enigma was where it came from. The men who found it were adamant. The vessel had been blown out from the solid pudding stone, a sedimentary rock formation that geologists today have dated to an astonishing age. The Roxbury Conglomerate is from the Ediacaran period, formed somewhere between 570 and 593 million years ago. This is a time long before complex life crawled onto the land, centuries before the Appalachian Mountains were even formed. This singular claim is what transforms the Dorchester Pot from a simple antique curiosity into a profound and unsettling anomaly. If a metallic vessel, decorated with silver floral inlays, was truly embedded within this ancient rock, then every book on archaeology, geology, and human history is wrong. It would mean that skilled metalworkers existed on this planet hundreds of millions of years before the first primates even appeared. It suggests a history so deep, so alien to our own, that it defies all rational explanation, leaving us with a mystery that echoes from the depths of geological time. The story of this incredible find did not remain a local tale. It quickly found its way into the public sphere. Just a few weeks after the discovery, on June 5, 1852, an article appeared in a respected publication of the time, the Scientific American, titled, "A Relic of a Bygone Age." The piece recounted the events on Meeting House Hill. It described the blast, the recovery of the two pieces of the vessel from the solid rock, and the intricate details of the object itself. The article treated the discovery as a genuine curiosity, a wonder that challenged the imagination. Yet, this is also where the problems begin for any modern investigation. The entire case rests upon these century-and-a-half-old newspaper accounts. There are no formal archaeological field notes. There are no photographs of the object in situ. We have no plaster casts of the cavity. This lack of rigorous, scientific documentation is a critical flaw. While the men on the ground may have been entirely honest, the chaotic aftermath of an explosion is not a controlled environment. The story started not as a scientific paper, but as a public curiosity, and this has defined its controversial legacy ever since. In the 20th century and the 21st, the story found new ground in fringe literature and the infinite expanse of the internet. Creationist writers seized upon the pot. Ancient astronaut theorists adopted the tale. With the internet, these theories exploded. Online forums, blogs, social media platforms became digital campfires. The narrative turned simpler, bolder, and far more dramatic than the original 1852 report. Was it a lost civilization? A time traveler? One article states, if embedded in rock 593 million years old, metalworkers existed before dinosaurs. The public debate that rages in these online spaces often operates like an echo chamber. The disappearance of the artifact, which is a fatal flaw for any scientific investigation, actually becomes a strength in the world of speculation. Since the object cannot be tested, its believers can claim it would have proven them right, accusing science of losing it on purpose. Geologists and archaeologists dismiss the ancient claim. The most accepted explanation, the vase, was likely a Victorian-era candlestick holder or pipe stand, which became commingled with rock debris, not truly embedded. Problems. The pot disappeared. No modern re-examination possible. The context of discovery based on newspaper accounts, not rigorous field records. The Dorchester Pot case illustrates how extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence. It demonstrates the boundary between legitimate archaeology and fringe speculation. Whether genuine or not, the story captivates because it opens questions. What if our timeline is wrong? Reflect. Our reality is shaped by what we accept as evidence and what we ignore. The pot may be a Victorian object, or it may carry a message. Our history may hide uncomfortable truths. The disappearance of the artifact ensures the mystery will persist. As philosopher-scientists, we must stay curious, skeptical, and humble. The past is not static. It may whisper new stories if we know how to listen. What do you think? Victorian hoax or ancient enigma? Comment below. And subscribe to BrainRootX for more mysteries that challenge what we believe about our world.